The line of actual control after September 21st, the Corps Commanders meeting has been decided that there will be a standstill. After standstill, they will decide on the program for disengagement. After disengagement will be de-escalation, and then after that will be subsequent talks for settlement of various other issues related to the border. Now, in this context, another controversy has emerged, that is just on 28th of September, when the Chinese Foreign Office, in a statement made to the Indian media Hindustan Times, they stated that the line of actual control was as stated by then Prime Minister Zhou Enlai in 1959. So the Chinese have gone back even prior to the 1962 war, and they said that the proposal which was made by the Prime Minister then should be now the line of actual control. Now, this was actually envisaged as the original design of the Chinese, and that is why it is not surprising that the statement has been made. But this is what has emerged now in the latest statement. India had rejected this Chinese premier's assertion even in 1959. It had not accepted it because India had stated that it was not a line which he had proposed, but it was some disjointed points across the border which were proposed by the Chinese premier that time, and India had not accepted it, and even now India is not accepting this. In fact, as we have discussed from time to time, from 1993 onwards, a number of agreements have been made between India and China, and in those agreements it has been specified that the line of actual control is where the physical deployments are taking place and which are the areas which have been claimed by the two sides, and it is not the one in 1959. In fact, India is now saying that China should go back to the posture of 1962. So there has been a new controversy, and this may have an impact as far as the agreement which was made by the two senior commanders or the Corps commanders on 21st of September for standstill, disengagement, de-escalation and status quo. What this impact will be, we'll have to wait and see. However, as far as the disengagement proposal is concerned, there are 4 issues which are possibly under discussion. I mean, this is not a confirmation, but based on the negotiations held from time to time, there are 4 possibilities which are being discussed. Firstly, which are the points from which disengagement should commence? Should the disengagement commence from south of Pangong Tso, which the Chinese are insisting, or should it be commencing from the Depsang Plains near the Daulat Beg Oldie area, or should it be commencing from north of Pangong Tso? Now, this is the point of debate and discussion. What should be the sequence of disengagement? Should it be taking place simultaneously, or should it take place from one point and then followed up in the other, and so on? What should be the schedule of disengagement, when it should take place? It is desirable that disengagement takes place before the winters, and winters are fast approaching. Snowfall has already started in the forward reaches. So under the circumstances, the schedule of disengagement also assumes importance. Then, of course, what is the mechanism for verification? That mechanism for verification also assumes much importance, because as we know that on night of June 15th and 16th, a clash occurred when the Indian patrol had gone led by a commanding officer during the process of verification. To avoid the clash, it is important that there should be a process through which the transparency is maintained, but there is no physical contact of troops. Now, these are the issues which are under consideration. So far we are quite hopeful of the disengagement process, and it is envisaged that there will be a breakthrough. But for this new point which has come up of 1959 LSE by the Chinese side, the whole thing would have possibly gone in very smoothly.